ਪੀਲ ਪੁਲਿਸ ਦੀ ਤਰਫ ਤੋਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਜੈਕਟ ਸਟਰਲਿੰਗ ਚਲਾਇਆ ਗਿਆ ਸੀਗਾ, ਜਿਹਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਰਿਕਵਰੀ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ। ਮੇਰੇ ਪਿੱਛੇ ਇੱਧਰ ਗੱਡੀਆਂ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ, 6 ਗੱਡੀਆਂ ਰਿਕਵਰ ਕੀਤੀਆਂ ਗਈਆਂ। ਡਿਪਟੀ ਚੀਫ ਨਿਕ ਮਿਲਿਨੋਵਿਚ ਦਾ ਕਹਿਣਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਦਿਸ ਇਜ਼ ਦਾ ਸਟਾਰਟ। ਔਰ ਪਿਛਲੇ ਸਾਲ ਤੋਂ ਹੁਣ ਸਾਲ 11% ਰਿਡਕਸ਼ਨ ਹੋਇਆ कारजैकिंग ਦੇ ਅੰਦਰ। 150 ਚਾਰजेस लगाए गए हैं, 20 बंदे अरेस्ट किए गए हैं। इशू है, क्वेश्चन है कि जो पोर्ट मॉन्ट्रियल पोर्ट है या बाकी जो पोर्ट्स है उत्थों गड्डियां बाहर किद्दां जांदियां। सो वो CBSA की रिस्पोंसिबिलिटी होंदी है। CBSA अगर उत्थे ऑफिसर्स लाए तो जड़ियां गड्डियां बाहर जांदियां वो भी फड़ियां जा सकदियां। आ जिहड़े 20 बंदे अरेस्ट किए गए आ गैंग का नाम हले दस्सिया नहीं गया। आ गैंग जिहड़ा है ऑपरेट करदा सी GTA टोरंटो के एरिया च भी। उन्हां दी तरफ तो यंग बच्चों नूं हायर किया जाता है गड्डियां चोरी करन लई। सो रिकमेंडेबल जॉब जिहड़ी कीती गई है पील पुलिस के ऑफिसर्स डिटेक्टिव्स तो आ गड्डियां रिकवर करके प्रोजेक्ट स्टर्लिंग तो। और दस्सिया गया है कि हर घंटे पील रीजन च 1 घंटे च 1 गड्डी जिहड़ी है चोरी होंदी है। ओंटारियो के अंदर हर 6 मिनट च 1 गड्डी चोरी होंदी है। पील रीजन च 1 घंटे च 1 गड्डी चोरी होंदी है। आ जिहड़ियां गड्डियां रिकवर कीतियां इन्हां दी जिहड़ी वैल्यू है वो $1.25 लाख के करीब दसी गई है। और दिस इज़ द स्टार्ट एज़ पर द डिप्टी चीफ निक मिलिनोविच कि आ गड्डियां फड़न का स्टार्ट है। हले बहुत काम बाकी है, लेकिन ये सारी एजेंसीज़ नूं नाल मिल के जिथे फेडरल सरकार का भी फर्ज बनता है, CBSA का फर्ज बनता है कि असी बाहर जाने वाली जिहड़ी शिपमेंट्स है उन्होंने स्कैन किया जाए, किहड़ियां गड्डियां बाहर जांदियां ते थाउजेंड्स ऑफ गड्डियां होर रिकवर हो सकदियां। सो प्रोजेक्ट स्टर्लिंग के उपर पील रीजन पुलिस नूं साडी सारी टीम की तरफ तो उन्होंने कॉन्ग्रेचुलेशनस है कि कीप गोइंग, कीप डूइंग द गुड वर्क।
We are here to share the results and the successful outcome of one of the investigations that our Commercial Robbery Bureau has recently completed. It is dubbed Project Sterling. This project has led to the disruption and dismantling of a very well-known street gang that originated out of Brampton and was targeting our community. This particular street gang, since 2019, has been responsible for a total of 333 criminal charges, 104 robberies, 7 attempt murders, 47 firearms and weapons charges, in addition to 25 bail charges and 41 stolen auto and stolen property incidents. The robberies they committed were often violent. They were often armed when they committed those robberies and oriented themselves towards carjackings. Carjackings of innocent people from our community. Those crimes also included, as I mentioned previously, a number of shootings. This project and the work of the team that you're going to hear from today has made an impact in our community safety. As a result, we have seen a reduction in the number of carjackings that are being experienced in Peel. Thankfully, we're enjoying an 11% reduction in the number of carjackings that are happening here in Peel, which isn't on trend with a lot of the other communities across the GTA. So I'm very proud of that work. We've also seen a reduction in pharmacy robberies, which was another crime that this group was involved in. Despite the fact that we are seeing reductions, I would also like to reassure the community that this remains a priority for our police service. It is a priority for our community and also our police service. As a police service, we recognize that these incidents create fear. They create feelings of insecurity, and people become concerned about the safety in their community. And I would like to reassure the community that we are committed to doing everything we can as a police service to holding people accountable when they're involved in this type of activity. It will not be accepted here in Peel. As a police service, this year we will charge and arrest more people for carjacking and organized auto theft than we ever have. And that is a reflection of our understanding of how important it is, but also what an large issue it is for our community. You'll see in the backdrop here we have several vehicles. These are autos that have been recovered, stolen from people's homes. They've woken up to find out that somebody has gone shopping in our community from other jurisdictions and taken vehicles. We continue to recover approximately 50% of all stolen autos here in Peel. As I mentioned, we will also continue to hold people responsible who come to our community to steal cars. But one of the important things that I think is that we need to recognize is it's an issue here in Peel, but also an issue across the country. On average, in Peel alone, we lose approximately 1 vehicle per hour. And as a police service, we will continue to invest in the necessary resources to make sure that we are able to continue with investigations like this and prevent people from targeting our community. Once again, very happy to highlight the outstanding work from our Commercial Robbery Bureau and the people responsible for this project. I would also like to acknowledge the support of the Criminal Intelligence Service of Ontario, along with Mayor Brown, and thank you for being here today. I appreciate you being here, but also your advocacy towards raising awareness and building into the conversation of prevention and what people outside of policing can do in order to help address this situation.
Congratulations to your team, to the Peel Police, on what is a very impressive investigation with Project Sterling. As our Deputy Chief said, the type of terrifying carjackings we've seen in our community is not acceptable. And what this really shows, and frankly sends a message to organized crime, there is consequences and there is accountability. What we've seen on Canadian streets cannot be tolerated, and I'm grateful to have such a dedicated police force in Peel Region that continue to go above and beyond to look at ways to handle the challenges we're facing today. And let it be clear, carjackings and auto thefts have escalated in every major urban city in Canada. And I've seen the terrifying numbers of how auto thefts and carjackings have increased. This certainly isn't a problem unique to Brampton, but it's one that I have heard again and again from our residents about. They can't believe this is happening in our country and in our city. It's why last year at the Region of Peel, we made the largest investment in the Peel Police that we ever have in terms of new officers, and we doubled the auto theft unit. This year, we're looking at making, once again, the largest investment in policing in Peel Region history, based on the belief that if you give the police the resources to do their job, if you give Chief Nish and Deputy Chief Milinovich the resources to do their job, they're going to hold those who commit heinous criminal activities in our community accountable.
Question is for Detective. These vehicles recovered, are they recovered within Canada or brought from overseas? And also, in case the vehicles which went overseas, any mechanism, are we working with other country governments to bring those back, and from where these are being recovered? Thank you.
Thank you for the question, Neaton. I know you asked for the detective, but I think I'll take this one. So when we talk about recovery rates of vehicles, it really depends on why the car was stolen, and particularly when we talk about location. So as I mentioned, we are at approximately 50% total, which is upwards and past $130 million in vehicles that we've recovered. But it also gives you an idea of the scope. You very rightfully point out that a lot of these vehicles are destined for export. And I'll take this opportunity to share with you that the work that we do here in order to recover these vehicles does not end at the boundaries of Peel. Yes, we do work with foreign governments to try to repatriate vehicles, but there's a lot of complexities to being able to do that. So when we're able to, of course, we do that. Now, having said that, we're also looking for opportunities to begin to fill some of the gaps that we know are creating this issue. Several weeks ago, myself and members of the Commercial Auto Crime actually went to the Port of Montreal to have discussions with CBSA and authorities at the port and look for opportunities, because we see that as a vulnerability. One of the reasons why cars are leaving our country as quickly and in the numbers that they are is because of the vulnerability for export of those stolen vehicles for a profit. And this becomes all part of the cycle of organized crime. So the short answer to your question is yes, we're looking for every opportunity to bring those cars home, but we're also trying to make it more difficult for criminals to allow themselves to export these cars. I would prefer they don't leave Canada. And so that's where we're at with that.
I'll say thank you, Peel Police, and congratulations from the residents of region of Peel. As you mentioned that 11% reduction in carjacking, and that figure is compared to the last year reduction?
Yes, so 11% year to date over last year. But as the mayor and as you've heard from Tara, one carjacking is too many. So despite the fact that we're enjoying some success, we aren't going to rest on our hands. And I just want to reassure our community and a message, Peel is not the place to come and engage in criminal activity, particularly as it relates to carjacking and auto thefts, because we are going to put more resources behind that to ensure the people doing that activity are held accountable, and we will follow them wherever they go. But we also want our community to feel safe here in Peel. Thank you. So my message to the residents of Peel is really very simple. It's twofold. First, I want to reassure them that our police service is doing everything we can to make sure that the people that are engaged in this type of activity are held accountable. And we will pursue them in order to do that. And then the second message is I need them to, again, understand that they have a role to play, and of course the prevention is important, but they need to understand that as a police organization, we are investing the appropriate amount of resources into addressing this issue that it requires. So, as I said, twofold. One, we're doing everything we can, and two, we acknowledge and understand that it is an issue for your community, our community, and we're going to continue to try to address it.
The message is very clear today with Project Sterling. For those thugs, those criminals, that organized crime in our community that are engaged in carjackings and auto thefts, the Peel Police will hunt you down and hold you accountable. We do not tolerate this heinous criminal activity. And today the 103 plus charges and the cars recovered are just the start of what happens when you put resources behind policing to combat auto theft. Last year we doubled auto theft unit, and we're going to grow that even more this year with our Peel Police budget to make sure that we can ensure Brampton is safe in this growing concern we have across Canada with the escalation of auto thefts.